Greetings. We welcome everyone at the International Online Conference Creative Society, A World Without Violence. Today we will hear women from different parts of the world share their stance on what each person can do in order to build a creative society, a violence-free world. Today's conference is being conducted within the framework of the project No Violence in the Family and Society on the platform of AllatRA International Public Movement. This project was created on the initiative of the international community. And today, people all over the world are implementing this project. In the 21st century, the problem of violence in the family and society remains relevant for any corner of our planet. The modern consumer format only makes the situation worse. Despite this, people all over the world want to live in an atmosphere of friendship, respect, and understanding. Today, women from different countries will share their stance on the need to eliminate the problem of violence in our society. Together, we will look for answers and will hear practical examples on how to overcome violence.
Hello everyone, and just before we start, we would like to share with our viewers what do we mean under the term creative society. People have long dreamed of building a harmonious society of prosperity and happiness. Today, all of humanity has a unique opportunity to build one. Thanks to the 8 foundations of the creative society, we have those pillars on which this society can be built in the near future. We will need to unite and build this world together. Our future depends on each of us.
And now I would like to welcome and introduce our guests today. Dr. Seema Negi, joining us from India. Dr. Negi is a principal at San Giovanni World School, Global Goodwill Ambassador, life coach, and she's also associated with the Center for Educational Development as a state coordinator for Mumbai chapter. Puja Talesara Bhandari from Singapore. Puja is a Global Goodwill Ambassador, personal leadership coach, co-founder of Rewire with Nick and Puja, and founder at Leadership Demystified Webinars. She helps millennials, government professionals, Gen Z young leaders, educators, women, and entrepreneurs to activate their inner compass. Cindy Eggleton, right here from Michigan, USA. Cindy is the co-founder and CEO of Brilliant Detroit. Next, we have Ms. Suchi from Singapore. Ms. Suchi is the Singapore Country Chair, a laughter coach, conference speaker, and an author of Code to Happiness. Charu Mehrotra, founder of an online magazine, womanlines.com, promoting excellence in women, serial entrepreneur by heart, a digital marketer, global goodwill ambassador. And we have Dr. Ruby Bakshi Khurdi, who lives right now in Switzerland and is an award-winning international TEDx speaker, educationist, vice president, global board for women and empowerment, and a global goodwill ambassador. And we would like to welcome everyone here today.
Hello, everyone. Happy to see you all. And we are your hosts today. I'm Alina from Dubai, UAE, and Olga from Michigan, USA. And we hope that you're all having a great day. And before we come to the questions, I would like to say to our viewers that this conference is very much important. This is the first conference we are running, but this is the beginning of the global project. And hopefully the similar conferences will be run on the regular basis. And coming to the questions, I would like to say that people today consider the way we live as the only possible choice. Unfortunately, our society is tolerant to violence. There is no other example of a better life. In our society today, the generations are not shown the main moral humanity values, but instead how to defend yourselves, conflict, and to get the best place under the sun by violence. And if we do not speak up, that means that we agree to these standards. We agree to bury our human qualities under the sand, and maybe we should just change the values on which society is built and on which it stands. Put human life at the center of the most valuable. Cindy, could you please share how important it is to speak up about the violence in society and build a society that protects the right of all people?
I just want to first say I'm really honored to be amongst this great team and panel here. And I'm also honored to be talking about this because in my life, just as a human being, but also in my world and the work I do, really putting an end to the violence and the neglect is critical. And we work with kids and adults, mostly women, all the time. I think in this is always the ability and need to shine a light on what's happening. And by that is speaking up, but it's also making it visible. When things are invisible, you really can't do anything about it, and people are suffering harm and not going forward with all of the qualities that you've really laid out in this society, which is interconnectedness and valuing human life, period. Especially at this time when we're affected by COVID, there are things that are more silent. And I think it is on each and every one of us to say, this is what's going on, to look at it and actually help create something that is not based on what we assume or accept, but that in fact there can be a different world. And in the work I do, I for certain see the ability to do a different world when we're able to, again, shine a light, not judge, but help people see a different way forward. That is the path to productivity for individuals, but connectedness for each other in a world that we all want to live in. And I can't emphasize that enough. Many times people are afraid to speak up, but indeed that fear I see time and time again handled in a way that is respectful for that person coming forward can truly help us eradicate the issues that are before us.
Thank you very much, Cindy, for sharing with us.
Thank you, Cindy. That's important.
The moral values should be developed at a young age, and parents and educators should be a good example for kids. Dr. Negi, could you please share your view at what education should look like in the creative society in order to teach moral values and positive behavior?
So to start with, since I'm an educator and I normally deal with the younger children, I firmly believe that moral values and the right and wrong needs to be taught right from a very, very early age. So first thing, the parent need to role model, because what is happening behind the closed doors is what impacts a child a lot. So what a child looks for? A child looks for a safe and secure home. A home where the child is loved by parents. And when this child comes out and walks into the periphery of school, the child looks for the same secure environment wherein he or she is loved by his or her teacher, friends, and develops the skills which makes him or her a better human being. Now, how do we do that? Because at the end of the day, it is not about teaching them the subjects that they come for in school. It's about making and raising responsible human being, responsible citizen, not just for your country, but for the entire globe. Now, I would like to put upon few things that I am doing and I'm very passionate about as an educator. I believe everything revolves around two basic attributes. One is happiness and second is gratitude. So for us, everything that we are doing in school revolves around this. So whether it's giving them moral values, you cannot have a lecture and give them moral values. You need to live by it. You need to have living examples, because what we do, we give our children exposure to technology as well as the cartoons that they see. Now, if the cartoon is depicting a lot of violence, it can be violence towards self, towards others, or towards object. Violence is violence and it needs to stop. So if we train our children this way and we show them all the cartoons, and when the child behaves in the similar manner and we find it objectionable, somewhere down the line, we as parents and educators are wrong. So we need to set the right examples for our children. We need to set the right moral values right from the beginning. One thing that we need to train all the children for, that is, neither they can receive violence, nor they can be a part of giver, and nor they should be a part of just observer. See, even if you are just observing the violence and you are not raising your voice, I think then we are not performing our duties well. So our entire curriculum in school revolves around two things, as I told you. One is happiness, second is expressing gratitude. We have very seriously taken the SDG goals, and one of the goals which says that we need to have, there should be no violence against children. And that is one thing which we all are working together. And today on this platform, I think we'll be discussing various things which I can take back to my school, and whatever practices we are doing in our school can be shared on larger platform, so that ultimately the common goal that we are working towards, a violence-free society, can be created. So we start our day in our school with a very simple thing. On Monday, we express our gratitude to our parents and teachers. On Tuesday, we express the gratitude to siblings and friends. On Wednesday, we do it for our country. On Thursday, we do it for everything living and non-living. And our Friday is what we call in Sanskrit, Vasudev Kutumbakam. Entire world is my family. The day we will instill the values that entire world is my family, neither I'll be violent toward anyone else, nor I will accept it. So for us, no means no. This is what we are doing in our school.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Negi. That's absolutely true. I absolutely agree. That's amazing. And, stress, anxiety, uncertainty about the future is an additional trigger of violent behavior. Ms. Suchi, could you please share from your personal experience ways to eliminate stress and therefore create a safe atmosphere?
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be sharing platform, this screen with space with all these wonderful ladies here. Thank you so much. As a coach who helps people, guide and mentor people to help them to manage stress, I strongly believe that a stress-free world is a violence-free world. It's really important for people to really know what stress is. Most of them do not know what stress is. They don't even know if they are feeling stressful. And on the top of that, they do not practice. They do not make those slight changes in their lifestyles and routines to learn those healthier habits, the healthier ways to manage stress. So it accumulates and then it comes out in so many negative ways. That's negative energy when it comes to violence. So first of all, it's very important to make peace with yourself. I only started to spread peace around me and globally now with the social media platforms I'm on, because I made sure that I am peaceful. I made peace with myself and the people around me. Then I was able to spread the peace around the world. It's really important for people to know that they are a part of this whole consciousness, and there is nothing that they are missing out on. The fear of missing out is what makes them feel anxious, eager, like I'm not going to get this, I'm not, and all those religious thoughts and those stereotypes and whatever it had been taught from the very young age, which does not really complement diversity. People do not really accept others the way they are. So there are stereotypes which we don't want to follow, and we don't want to really accept those stereotypes, to make sure that we accept people the way they are. We listen to the people with the intent to hear them, not with the intent to reply. What people do these days is they just listen to the others because they're thinking of what to say next. So there are so many reasons where everybody is feeling that they are not being heard, and I'm not going to get what I really want in my life. So I don't know how to manage stress. People are not taking time out. Solitude is very important, to be able to connect with yourself, to see yourself as I'm a part of this whole consciousness, that huge energy, I'm a part of it. If once we do that, we would not have the fear that I'm missing out on something. We'll be able to have peace within, and then we're able to spread the peace around as well. So we must learn how to manage stress by saying no. People continue to take whatever others are telling them to, and at one point they really cannot take it anymore. So learning to say no is important, taking time out, learning to manage stress, and whatever hobbies, whatever different types of practices which might want to make you feel relaxed, like listening to relaxation music. So there are so many ways one can use like healthier habits to manage stress. So when there is less stress and a lot of peace within, all of us can then build that community where all the people are stressful, they accept the other people as they are, and they don't want them to be what they want them to be. So accepting the people the way are is very, very, very important, and knowing that identity is fluid, because identity changes based on nationality, religious beliefs, what kind of thoughts being instilled, inculcated in your mind when you were young. So backgrounds, I was saying. So it all depends on that. So it's very important to know that identity is fluid, it changes, and celebrate diversity. Look at all of us. Look at us, like our hair color, our skin color. We look so beautiful together. So celebrate diversity, and know that you will get what you deserve. So do not have fear of missing out. And when you stand up for all, not only for your community. Yeah. So I'm someone who I rose above the lines drawn by religious backgrounds and religion, caste, creed, language. These are the lines drawn by someone else, and we just ages we have been following it, and people don't want to talk about it. Just like, okay, this is my religion, this is your religion. And children have been taught at very young age, your religion, my religion, and that's not what it should be. Like, it should be this way. So when you're standing up for the community, not only for someone that you support. Like, it should be for all. So loving all, seeing yourself as a part of the whole consciousness, and creating peace with myself so that I can spread peace around is something which is working for me. And I strongly believe that once everybody knows how to manage stress, how to live a very happy life and peaceful life, there would be no crime. Yeah, so it's possible for us to create that society where we all live happily. Yeah. We all live very happily without having any violence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I agree. It is possible to create that society, and that is why we're here today. And thank you so much, Ms. Suchi, for sharing. And regardless of outside circumstances, we understand that a person always has a choice. The responsibility to choose the negative or positive and constructive is always on the person. Puja, could you please share with us how personal leadership and responsibility aids in violence prevention and helps to build a better world?
Thank you. First of all, I'm so honored to be here, and warm greetings to all the viewers who have been watching there. So, Olga, I'm going to break it out. And what is the creative society? We have been talking about creative society. What does it look to me first? And then I would get into what is the paradigm shift we would require and what are the barriers. And probably at the last, I would like to touch on what are the things I'm doing at. So, how does the creative society look to me? It looks to me an alignment between your mind, body, and soul. Now, having said that, a creative society is wherein we have activated our inner light. Now, this is where I would want to expand a bit. Now, when I say activated the inner light, by default, all of us have an inner light. Now, I'll just draw an analogy. Now, when you see sun, so sun has a very beautiful stellar around it, the ring, corona, right? And that corona is not visible all the time because the sun is so bright. And so it's not visible. Only when the sun passes through the darkness, through the solar eclipse, that's the time that corona, the stellar light, becomes visible. So similarly, all of us have an inner light. Now we need to activate our inner compass. We need to activate our self-awareness, our consciousness quotient. Now, having said that, what are the paradigm shift we would require to do? We have been talking a lot about like fixed mindset, growth mindset. I have been hearing, and I'm sure all of us have somewhere heard this. But now we need to move a step forward and need to look at benefit mindset. We would need to shift from constant comparison, complaining, criticizing, to more of connection. Because the moment you judge, that's, the judgment brings in the correction lens. And when you want to connect, you can just simply connect. And for doing that, we may have to say tata goodbye to all the outer voice and become more activated inner. And that's what I'm doing in my own space. And I'm so fortunate in my various initiatives. I have my wonderful, I call Miss Suchi as the lighthouse. I have Charu as well as Kasturi Gundasegaram, Yusuf. So I'm on a mission, Olga. Create the Olga and Alina and the viewers. I'm on a mission to create the communities of leaders. Now, having said that, communities of leaders who are authentic, courageous, and inspiring. And this would require them to alter their mindset. And this requires, it starts right in an early age. I heard Dr. Seema, some has Cindy, as well as Ms. Suchi touching on it. It requires right from an early age. I work with children. I work with the educators, parents. I work in the whole perspective that the small nuggets, if they're instilled right at an early age, then we would not become a passenger. We would become more a pilot. We would have things in our control and will not be upset about, oh, this is like outside my control and I'm all that. Because the pain, the violence comes in when we are focusing on the things which are like circle of concern. The moment you have the power, and the moment when I say the power is the power of connection, the power of inner self-awareness, acceptance, that's where the self-advancement happens. So rather than this is not happening, that's not happening, if each one of us take a step and make that small step a big priority, I think a beautiful creative society can emerge, because creative society is like when you're thinking beyond, when you're connecting together. And that's what for me is. So it is all about, it comes in what excellence leads to outward excellence, and that's activating the inner compass.
Thank you very much. That's very inspiring, Puja. Thank you so much. And today we are speaking of a creative society, which is a world without violence. Even one case of violence should not be acceptable by the whole society. People should speak openly, and every human should be protected. Today, we see a lot of negative and destructive content in the media, cartoons, movies, video games, etc. All of those promote violence. Dr. Ruby Bakshi Khurdi, how important is it to show positive and constructive cartoons, movies, commercials, and eliminate violence in those mentioned, as they are destructive examples of our society?
First of all, namaskar everyone from the sunny Switzerland. It's really an honor listening to all of you and sharing the platform and talking about creative society without violence. A world without violence. Come on, think of it. If it will be possible, we will be in heaven. We are going to create heaven on the earth. So yes, everything lies in our hands, provided we know how to do it and how to keep on sustaining it. Because sustainability is something we are all struggling with it, and we have to keep on work on it consistently. As an educationist, I think we should always lead by giving examples. It's very important. As Dr. Seema said, Puja, Ms. Suchi, Cindy, everyone is emphasizing upon education. Education is the backbone for everything, whatever we want to do or whatever we aspire to do. So I'm going to talk about this. I just created a theory, especially for creative society, because I was coming and sharing the platform.
Thank you.
Thank you. So my theory is 3E theory, which stands for education, empathize, and empower. We definitely need to start educating our children right from very, very young age. Because when they're small, they are open, they are not rigid, they are open to mold and keep on changing and keep on evolving. It's a must. Once you keep on educating, you have to think like them and then be an adult, think like them and be an adult. And that is empathy, using emotional intelligence, which I'm emphasizing all the time. Everywhere I go, we need to connect emotionally. Even though we are taking advantage of the digital world, that we are all sharing the platform here, sitting comfortably in our homes, but still we need to connect emotionally, because the more you connect, automatically you will see the crime will become less and less, because you're thinking like them, you're connecting with the people. Whenever there's violence these days, I hear a lot about domestic violence here in Switzerland, which is a developed country, but still we hear a lot about it here in Switzerland. But we don't think, why is it happening? Where is it happening from? So we need to go to the crux about why are people doing it? And only when you realize the real reason, we are not just domestic violence on women, even though we are a panel of women, but we empathize with men. We need men. We need Shiva and Shakti. And Hindu mythology, it's like when you have Shiva and Shakti together, we can think about our generations together. We can think about going further together. And it's only possible if we empathize with the people. Why? We need to work on the 5 W's, which is when, where, why, what, and who are the people. So maybe today, AllatRA TV chose us. So we are the people. We just started it. We are initiating it. But in the coming terms, in the coming times, we'll be having more and more people coming together. And that is empowering. And when you empower people, you see beautiful things happen. You just keep on doing, connecting people and making it happen. It won't happen just by saying or speaking. We need action. It's action. We talk about world as a family. Yes, world is a family and it's becoming a nuclear family now. It's becoming smaller and smaller because we are getting connected. But now, just by connecting, it's not sufficient, guys. We need to act. We need to do something. And for doing something, we have to think positively, consistently. We need to teach our boys to be respectful. We need to teach our girls to stop and say no to violence. Because equally, a person who is inflicting violence and the person who is watching and saying, I can't do anything, I'm helpless, is wrong. So we need to teach our girls to say stop, and we need to teach our boys to say, we need to respect. You can't say yes or no, you have to work together. So I again emphasize, please try to have the 3E theory, which is educate, empathize with the people, and keep on empowering, and world is becoming beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ruby. I like how you said that we're all one big family, and that is so true. And we can see it already today, how large our family is growing, right? Even on this platform, on the AllatRA platform, it is wonderful. And in the world of violence, people feel lonely. They seek understanding and help, but unfortunately, In the contemporary world of egoists, it is not always easy to find help and understanding. We know that the true nature of a woman is nurturing, loving, caring. And here I have a question for Charu. Charu, please share, how can we overcome competition and jealousy between women and reach mutual support, love, and unity?
Thank you so much for such a wonderful question, Olga. First of all, a very big hello to the whole global community there. It's an honor to be here with such a wonderful panel, and it's amazing to pick up such wonderful pearls of wisdom from all the speakers. It's amazing learning. So I always start with my favorite quote, which says, which is by Helen Keller, that alone we can achieve so little, but together we can achieve so big. I've strongly believed in that. And in last 12 years of entrepreneurial journey, I have learned amazingly by working together with various women groups across. My previous ventures were also with women folks, and together we achieved a lot. So I wonder always, in this world, if all women get together and start collaborating together, what an amazing, creative, peaceful world we can have. So for that, what is required? It is required to support each other first, to get the empowerment first. So for empowerment, women have to believe that they have those mindset skills, and they have that, inside they have that knowledge that they can use for themselves, and they can create a better place for themselves. But they can only do once they have that confidence. And that can come if we start working together as a group. We see so much violence across happening in the world, whether the families are there, whether we are having the society, so many cases are getting reported. Why are women not getting together and helping each other out? If we have a group where we are aware that certain woman is having some problem, the other women can certainly help her out in wonderful way. But it is all about approaching and talking and sharing. So what I find missing across is that folk are not interacting in that helpful manner, which they should be doing together. And if we start filling this gap, I think the society can be a much better place to live, because we all know that every woman is having amazing powers within it. So for that, women folk have to change themselves, they have to change the mindset, and they have to open their mindset to work together. Whether it's an office or you are working as a professional, you are having your own setup. See amazing things happening. You can create wonderful things across the globe once you start working together. This group we are having today, and we are talking and coming up with certain solutions, which if we are spreading together across the globe, we can create a wonderful society. So for creating a wonderful society, empowered women is very important. And through my magazine, womenlines.com, my intention is to create that pool of women from across the globe where we are sharing with each other, where we are sharing the success stories, which is motivating and fueling women across the globe that, yes, if you have that inner spark, just allow it. Just unleash the leader within yourself. Try to take a step and take that action and work for being a better person. So yes, I strongly believe that empowered women can create wonders and play a big role in creating a peaceful society, violence-free. And for that, we all have to gather together to help each other and support each other. That's my take for that.
Thank you very much, Charu. Thank you for
Thank you so
sharing.
much. Also, that's very inspiring.
Yes. And we all spoke about how together we can do so much, and I have to agree, and we're already doing it right now. And in order to build a creative society, a world in which every person will feel comfortable, we should be united by one goal. The basis of our goal are the 8 foundations that are described in the article, The Foundations of the Creative Society and the Stages of Its Construction, which was published on May 18, 2020 on the website AllatRAunites.com. And all our viewers who would like to get familiar with the article can visit the website. And right now we would like to present the 8 foundations.
We will see them now on the screen, and we will give a short description. So Now you see that the human is the fundamental unit of society. Humanity is actually one big family. So the first foundation of a creative society is human life. Human life is the highest value. Life of every human has to be protected as one's own. The goal of society is to ensure and guarantee the value of each human's life. There is not and never can be there anything else more valuable than a human's life. If one human is valuable, then all people are valuable.
The second foundation is human freedom. Every human is born with the right to be a human being. All people are born free and equal. Everyone has the right to choose. There can be no one and nothing on earth above a human, his freedom and rights. The implementation of human rights and freedoms must not violate the rights and freedoms of others.
So the third foundation is human safety. No one and nothing in society has the right to create threats to the life and freedom of a human. Every human is guaranteed free provision of essential life necessities, including food, housing, medical care, education, and full social security.
The fourth foundation is transparency and openness of information for all.
And the fifth foundation is the creative ideology. So ideology should be aimed at popularization the best human qualities and stopping everything that is directed against a human. The main priority is the priority of humanity, high spiritual and moral aspirations of a human, humanness, virtue, mutual respect, and strengthening of friendship.
The sixth foundation is development of personality. Every person in the creative society has the right to comprehensive development and personal fulfillment. Education should be free and equally accessible to all, creating conditions and expanding opportunities for a human to implement his or her creative abilities and talents.
And the seventh foundation is justice and equality.
The last foundation is the eighth foundation, self-governing society. The concept of power in the creative society is absent, since the responsibility for society as a whole, its development, living conditions, and harmonious format lies with each human. And based on these foundations, we would like to ask our speaker a question. In your opinion, if our world is truly built on the eight foundation of the creative society, will our world change for the better, and will we all live in peace and happiness and have a violence-free world? If anybody would like to answer.
So to start with, I think if each one of us follow the foundation rules that you have displayed right now, I think we all can close our eyes and visualize the most beautiful world where each and every individual is valued, where each and every individual finds fulfillment, where the inner light is, sparkling bright the way Puja has put it up, and where each one of us will live without fear, because that is what and that is how we need to live. We do not need to live in the world of fear. We do not have to tell our girls that they have to behave in a particular manner. We have to give everyone wings. And I think I am so blessed today being here amongst all of you, and we have gathered so much pearls of wisdom. Now let's spread those pearls of wisdom and give wings to everyone, whether it's women or it's children or it's our equal co-partner like males, and let everyone fly to their passion, to their destination, and let everyone live in peace and harmony. I think these foundation rules are so beautiful, and it presents a picture of a mesmerizing world that each one of us wants.
Beautiful. I loved when I was looking through all those 8 principles, what really stood to me personally, I mean, all of them are like really wonderful, but what stood to me personally was somewhere where you touched on the human life and education part. It really touched to me. And now when I have to look, I was thinking through it when you were saying. And so, Olga, with your permission and Alina's with the panel permission, I would like to share what I was thinking through, what was going through my mind. So this is just like we all use GPS, right? Be it in any country, right? To reach to a destination. So we need to put in our starting point and we need to put our end destination. Where do we want to be? And sometimes if we are not able to find our end destination, we've taken a wrong route, the GPS keeps on saying recenter, reroute. So I think this, the beautiful principles are the essence of what you have presented. It would help people to keep on recentering and keep on being aware about their starting point as well as the end point where they want to reach.
So I feel this so resonates with what I have seen personally and community-wide. One of the things that we see is that when people feel that it is on them, but on us, so it's a each and all of us, it's that idea of a free society, that things do change and things do move and we do follow those 8 principles. I think they're beautifully articulated because I think sometimes we sort of need those concepts to say, okay, are we there? Is this where we are? But in general, it needs to roll up to a society and a place where we each feel personal responsibility for ourselves, but for each other. And when that happens, when voices are heard, then voices will be heard with songs instead of yelling or screaming or sadness. I really do believe that this is a way to reframe our thinking and build communities, individuals, groups of individuals, and in a whole neighborhood at a time. I've seen it in action, and it's my life mission to keep it moving.
Very rightly said, Cindy. I think it's really clear when we build societies, when we bridge communities together, wonderful things do happen. And of course, education is the background, education is the backbone. The way you educate, the way you inculcate the values, the human values, automatically the crime, automatically people will be more evolving, people will be thinking more for the betterment. And of course, as Puja said, I think she just read my mind, because I was also thinking about GPS. Just as we are blindly dependent on a GPS to guide us wherever we are, whether we are on the top of mountain, whichever country, we just blindly depend on that and go. Same as if we start blindly trusting each other, and that blind trust will only happen with passage of time. You need to give time, just as you give water to a plant and it grows. And when you get a small plant and you see that it starts getting flowers, it's growing, it gives you that contentment. Wow, it's my, I did. Same here. It is very important how you do and what you do. So keep on building. It was a very beautiful presentation in terms of what each one of us needs to do. It's not one man show, it is our show. If all the people around the world connect together, beautiful things will happen.
So Ruby, just one phrase comes to my mind. If each one of us think that I am because we are, I think the mission of creative society will be fulfilled.
Very true, very true. We have to believe in the feeling of we, If we start believing in we instead of me, automatically things will move, because you are consistently empowering each other, sharing things with each other, the caring and nurturing environment is created. So automatically people will feel happy, people will feel empowered, and they will keep on developing in the right direction.
Very well said. So beautifully they have described all 8 principles, and once it is established and whole world connects with each other on the basis of these principles, I'm sure it will be such a beautiful world once you imagine like how people are supporting each other and evolving each other, and plus helping each other to be better version of themselves. I'm sure there will be no time for anybody to think about violence and think about other negativities. The mission will be only to improve oneself and make this world a better place. So if we are connected well and we are following these principles, wow, it will be an awesome world to stay.
See,
Yeah,
when we
I
think about just one thing, Ms. Suchi, just to add on to what Charu said, it's very true, Charu. We all wish to have a violence-free world, but still, everywhere, even though we take every action, everything that the plan is foolproof, we always have some goof ups in the last minute. So we have to make sure, even when we have those small goof ups or those bad elements do come up, despite living in a creative society, we need to make sure that we can't ignore them. We can't say zero. It can't be zero or minus completely, can't go away. But what we need to do is take those as hiccups and keep on working on them. We can't remove them from the system, but we need to keep them just to keep on moving and make it a bit challenging that people can survive and evolve at the same time. Yes, Ms. Suchi.
Maybe like learning curve. Sorry.
Exactly. Learning curve. Yes, Ms. Suchi, now you can.
Yes, Ms. Suchi. So looking forward.
just think that I absolutely love these foundations, and I have experienced it that whatever we have inside us, we give to the world. So if we have anger, hatred, any kind of negative energy, negative feelings, that's what comes out. You cannot hide that. You cannot hide that for a longer term. So people need to take time out to work on themselves and work on their self-development so that they don't point out at others and don't blame others. When they don't blame others, work on themselves. And we are talking about inner light here. So make peace with yourself. When you love yourself, do not take self-love as something which you feel guilty about. You're taking good care of yourself, taking care of your energies. You feel good from inside, from within. You are sharing love, peace, and light around the world. It would automatically get other people to inspire other people to do that as well. So everybody needs to work on themselves instead of pointing at others like you're not good, you're not good. So work on yourself and make sure that there is no negative energies like hatred and all those stress. You need to make sure that you are managing your stress well so that you feel very calm and peaceful. So when you're calm and peaceful, you're gonna spread that around. Thank you.
Very well said.
So
Thank
Suchi,
you very much.
I would just add to this. I really loved what you said. So what we can do, I think all of us can say cheers to criticism, because whenever we start something, there are people who are going to criticize. Such a wonderful work Creative Society is doing, but still there will be people who will criticize. So if we can just say cheers to criticism and move together, I think we will definitely follow our mission.
Very true.
Once we work on ourselves, when we work from our higher self, we don't look at criticism as criticism. We don't. Okay, the criticism word just goes away from our dictionary. It's like, thank you for your positive feedback. I surely look into it and work on it. Let's catch up on it some other day. Have a nice day.
Yes, if we take it positively, I think it's a beautiful world. That should be the propelling force to move ahead.
I think that's where your insecurity ends, right? Because what Ms. Suchi said and what I heard Dr. Seema, Cindy, and Dr. Ruby, Charu, all of them saying, and in fact, both of you, Olga and Alina, and even when you look at your principles, I think one of the force, or I think the starting point is like we all are somewhere. If you're insecure, from there, everything it's a vicious cycle, and then we can keep on naming. I'm sure we all will if we start naming it would be many things. But I think the seed of germination is the insecurity. And like we try to fit in, the moment we stop fitting in and we are comfortable with whom we are in our own skin, and we stop this insecurity, because that insecurity can only stop when you are comfortable who you are, and which is so hard. So as I think everyone in our own different language we have been saying, but everything starts from us, and that's what you people have taken a small step, right? And you have been like, now it's a good mission which is going on. We all are here, so it all starts.
Thank you very much.
It's
Everything
all about taking, self-responsibility. And once that realization is there in every individual, I think things can be changed and we can have really better society. So it's all about taking the self-responsibility, working upon self, be the better version of yourself, help others also to be the better version of themselves, and work together for the common goal of a better world. It can be a simple thing. People make it complex. I don't know why. Things can really change if we start working together.
Thank you so much. And from everything I've just heard, I have to agree with everyone. And this is such a good example on how I have no doubt in my mind already that we can build this world all together. And if we take on that personal responsibility and if we just start acting, we can definitely make a big change. And it looks like we're doing it already. And this is wonderful to see everybody here today all together. And our last question as well, if you would like to add something to any of the topics that were voiced, I know that we talked about a few things. So at this moment, if you would like to add anything, this will be a good time.
I would just say, to bring about a change, you need to believe in the change, because change is something that people are always afraid of because they are so used to their old habits. So when people are used to saying yes all the time to bad things, or saying yes to, okay, he just slapped me once, or he was just abusive once, that won't change. You have to be saying no to any kind of violence, whether it's physical or verbal. And it starts again from the grassroots level, your education, and at the same time, believe in yourself. We, especially as women, we are vulnerable. We always put others on the pedestal and keep ourselves really low. We don't really see what we are capable of. So guys, do not underestimate yourself. It is a must. Believe in yourself first, and only when you are a better version of yourself, only when you know that you are full, like you are like a full vessel, you can give to others. But when you are empty, you can't do anything. You will just feel hopeless and useless. So an empty vessel makes noise, it does nothing. But when that vessel is full, when that vessel is complete, then you want to give to others. And that's what we are all doing when we say this proverb: empowered women empower women. Okay, but we can change. We are not talking about just women empowerment. We'll say empowered people empower people. So the more and more you are empowered, you will be in a habit of empowering others. And by, I think society would change.
Very well said, Dr. Ruby. I will like to give a shout out to all women folk across the globe. Start working together, start collaborating together, and see the positive side of other person. Don't do leg pulling, don't have jealousy. Just think how big you can achieve. And let's have more women leaders around who can really work towards the betterment of the society. So yes, friends, just start working together and open your mindset. Things can be better and we can have really a beautiful world. So, yes.
Rightly put, Charu. So, I mean, wherein the world is only discussing about COVID and all the negative effects, I think we have seen the best face of humanity. Everybody is coming and hand holding and taking everyone forward. And this is the best example that all of us are sitting today here from different parts of the world, and we are trying to do our best. And I know each one of us will ensure that we are contributing towards the society so that we are hand holding each other. It's not about just empowering women or training our children well right from the beginning, but it's about all of us. If even one child, one woman, one individual is left behind, then I think our mission is not fulfilled. So together, let's start a new journey. As Puja rightly said about GPRS, I mean, we need to restart, we need to reset, we need to refresh everything and take this journey forward. Maybe today we are a small group, tomorrow we'll have millions joining us. We might be just a small drop in the ocean, but each drop counts, and let's make ourselves count.
Right, and when you work on yourself, your self development, and you are very comfortable and happy with yourself, you're peaceful. You start to get out of your head, and you start to get into your heart, and you start to work from your heart, so that it becomes easy to enhance your perspective, and you start to look at the things differently. You start to look at like the whole world as your family and everybody as your brothers and sisters, not like you. race and religion kind of thing. So I think it's important to work on ourselves first in order to then share that wisdom and learning with others. Yeah.
Great. Olga, I would like to add that taking something what Dr. Ruby said, right, about the change. So change is more of, it's not a destination. I think where we fall is we start looking at a destination. It's more of a journey. And when we have been talking about education, uh, I feel like there's too much of focus. I mean, it's my viewpoint, maybe, or what I have experienced recently in the boot camp working with children. Uh, there's too much of focus which is there on academics, but we fail to see that a swimmer swimming or a runner, or athlete running, you know, that the last moment when they're doing something critical, it's the mindset, it's their entire life skill which comes in. So education is important, but are we just educating the mind, or are we just in a pursuit of grabbing the degrees? Because if we are just in a pursuit of grabbing the degrees, and if we are not educating our heart, I think, then somewhere we are missing on, right? So it is so important. So be it as a parent, or be it in your own space, because I mean, I was there on your show earlier, and whoever knows me, they know me, that I keep on saying that personal leadership is an expression of life. Right? How we are going to lead, it's completely an expression of life. It's nothing to do with only with the corporate. And that's what got me to the mission to start, working right from the child to up to the corporate ladder, right? So what I'm trying to say is two things. Let's build in that life skill in our children, in our own space, because change is a journey and we need to prepare them. There's going to be a lot of things which they have to navigate, right? This recent example of COVID has taught us like it's interdependence, but at the same time, how comfortable you are in solitude. So for that, we need to really life skill them. We want everyone to be happy, successful, healthy. How is it going to come? It's going to come like from healthy mind and heart. So I think it all starts with the education, being on that journey. And it's okay if we are, it's okay. Sometimes we need to even enjoy our imperfections.
So Puja, very well said, because I personally feel an educator also. Education needs to be life-centric, not mark-centric. We have to come out of that in-the-box thinking.
Absolutely. And it got more propounded. Is actually, sorry, Olga, just it got me further. So, in fact, recently, when we were working on the vision board of students, I had to tell them, think about your health goals. Think about the other goals. They just kept on coming only to the academic goals. And they were like, yeah, because that's what is important. And somewhere we are instilling it in our children. Children, when they grow up, because our life is based on patterns, right? If they're not doing well in studies, we would say, last time I told you better study, you didn't listen to me, and see now the result. How is your result? So if this time you don't listen to my advice, be prepared. So somewhere we are instilling that fear. We are instilling in that don't leave your past, carry on. So it's we need to be on the consciousness journey, because it's not only your child whom you are nurturing, it's going to be tomorrow's leader. It's going to be tomorrow's young leader. So we need to be very conscious in all our space, be it as a parent or be it as individual, or be it in whatever space you're operating. If you get that consciousness quotient, I think it will be wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, dear ladies. And I'm sure that the message we've sent today to the universe and to the humanity will be heard, because it's very much important. And today, so we have touched and discussed a very important topic. And we see that people all over the world want to live in an atmosphere of friendship, respect, and understanding. In order to create conditions for the transition of a society to a creative format based on universal spiritual and moral values, it is necessary to raise and speak openly about the problems of violence in families and in society, about violations of human rights, as well as inform about the positive experience of people coming out of difficult situations. All this contributes to a joint search for solutions to these problems, interaction, information support, and the exchange of positive experience in resolving situations, as well as creating a healthy psychological microclimate in different social groups, an atmosphere of friendship, mutual understanding, and respect for each other, understanding that all humanity is one big family. And I would like to show you a small video which will help us to unite. Thank you.
Unite with like-minded people. Make the world a better place.
And we would like to thank our viewers and our guests today for joining us at our first online conference on the topic of Creative Society as a Violence-Free World. And please, our viewers, if you would like to learn more about the project and you would like to learn more about the project Creative Society, please visit AllatRAunites.com. Together we can do so much, and as we've already heard today, and people from all over the world are going to carry this initiative, and we are going to have conferences on a regular basis. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We truly appreciate your time, and thank you again.
Thank you, everyone.